Good evening and welcome to the API's Inside Story. I am Keisha Woodley. This evening I have with me the talented Vincentian Filmmaker Akley Olton, who is fresh out of Carifesta 15th, which was recently held in Barbados. Welcome, Akley. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to, share a bit of my perspective on how Carifesta went. Usually I come to API to update API, just to let them know what's happening in film or in regards to film in St. Vincent. So thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome. About Carifesta, what were your impressions? And was there a favorite part, a favorite exhibit for you?
Well, I guess first of all, I would like to put you in context. So Carifesta for me is kind of like our Olympic Games, but of the creative industries. It happens maybe every 2 years or every 4 years or sometimes every 6 years. But generally it's a sort of coming together of all the creatives from across the region in a celebration, and also as a marketplace. So you could promote, you could network, and you could sell, your work as a component of this Caribbean, if you want to say Caribbean civilization, like what the comrade just said.
Yes, Caribbean civilization.
Carifesta is like our soul in a kind of a way, when we all come together.
All creative souls.
And then it also takes it a bit further, because then it sort of tries to like live in that CARICOM space, which is the space of like freedom of movement, one nationality, and
unity.
Exactly, and you get to see it in physical manifestations of the culture and of the creative industries. So that's to put it in context. So this year, it's been a few years now. I think it's been about 6 years. The last one was put off because of COVID. And it happened in Barbados, which is interesting for me and special because in a kind of a way, well, the Bajans have dubbed me honorary Bajan, but it has to do with my time at UE and my time studying filmmaking and the kind of person I became, in front of the Bajans coming out of Vinci. When it comes to advocating for and I guess working very hard to manifest my creative vision, So that's what Barbados means to me. That's what Carifesta means to me. So this year now. This year was a sort of coming home for me because I would say it's been about 15 years since I graduated from Cave Hill.
Okay.
And
you've come full circle.
Exactly. So I've been kind of like on a journey, being a filmmaker, figuring out what it really takes to be a filmmaker and manifesting projects, and been all over the world doing all kind of things with the education I received in Barbados. And then this year they called me to participate in Carifesta, but as a facilitator for a workshop, which was a privilege and an honor, to be honest, and a sort of like recognition that gives me a lot of confidence, but really it's like a coming home, because in some ways I had to go back to the same building. I first took up a camera and started to like explore it,
Did you feel a little bit nostalgic?
I felt super nostalgic. Nostalgic, and I also felt a little bit more responsible. Like when I was a student, I was kind of I don't want to say reckless, but I would say a little bit more
carefree.
Yeah, in terms of how I do things, and maybe I might have been a little bit more vocal to people in authority. While right now I kind of like, not that I've become an authoritarian, but I recognize that there's so many challenges that people have to deal with, even like the officials or the government, that they have to deal with when it comes to culture, that sometimes it's not even their fault when we don't succeed and when we do succeed.
Okay, so back to my question. What was your favorite exhibit? What was outstanding to you? I mean, you got a chance to browse and to look at what the other countries had to offer.
Yeah. Well, first thing you have to imagine Carifesta not just as the grand market, which is what we are probably, which we have, which is a big market. It's more than that. There were seminars, conversations with leading,
you mentioned,
exactly, with Caribbean intellectuals and professionals who are kind of like trying to figure out what do we do to solve some of the challenges we have and to exploit all the opportunities available. Then there were also theater plays, presentations from different theater artists. There were visual arts exhibitions across Barbados. There were actually open studio, you know, different visual artists or artists in general across Barbados open up their studio so you could come in and see a part of their process. And then there was presentations of film, of Caribbean filmmaking. Different filmmakers came through and presented their work. Caribbean is really closely affiliated with North America. And you know, there's that, like, if you want to say, interaction between like Black America and the Caribbean. And one of the highlights at Carifesta was the presence of Ava DuVernay, who is a very significant Black American filmmaker. And she was one of the headliners at Carifesta. And for a few years now, at least in the Caribbean that I participate in, we, the filmmakers of the Caribbean region, have been working tirelessly, you know, to sort of like find ways to develop opportunities in these industries, because we recognize
broaden your reach.
Yeah, broaden our reach, but also broaden our reach, and in some ways collaborate, because we recognize that the Caribbean islands are not only interesting because of the stories that the local people could make, but also interesting because they also have these very diverse locations, right? And these locations can not only be used for physical tourism, so you could come and visit it, but it could also be used as backdrops in different films. Here in St. Vincent, we had Pirates of the Caribbean 1 and 2. We also had a movie before my time called White Squall, which was actually directed by Ridley Scott. You know, Ridley Scott now is like a name, but back then it wasn't. But in a way, his career started here with, you know, with that movie White Squall. And yeah, we have all of these, if you want to say, elements that we could use to develop this this aspect of the creative industries. And a lot of territories have been doing it. I would say the farthest ahead right now is Jamaica, where they actually have like a law established and tax incentive and different reasons for people to come and film in Jamaica. Trinidad is behind it as well. Next step is Barbados. And you know, step by step, people have been like developing this space to see what we could wheel. I mean, the dream happened when the Jamaicans made Harder They Come, Harder They Fall. You know, that was the textbook example of what could happen. You know,
I love that movie.
Exactly, because you saw yourself in it for the first time. You saw
like people who look like us,
and stories that you could relate to.
Yes, yeah, and our language, our patois, and so on. Yes, so we talked about your movies, and you were fortunate to be able to showcase your movies in Carifesta at the film festival. Could you tell us about these two movies?
Well, I had two films in Carifesta. One of them is a short film called Madulu the Seaman, which I made in collaboration with the community of Barley. And it focuses on the whale hunting, but the culture behind the whale hunting, which is these really interesting songs called sea shanties. Sea shanties is really walk songs that sailors would sing. And those songs would kind of communicate to the people on shore whether it is we catch a whale and I need your help to pull it in, or they would also sort of like help the whalers to work in unison when it comes to like rowing the boats.
Sort of a rhythm, right?
Yeah, to build up a rhythm. And, you know, it's just like we just see the movies of the slaves in the cane field and they're singing.
They have a song.
Right, it's very similar. So they call them walking songs, but maritime walking songs. And these songs have survived in Barley because of the whale hunting. And yeah, the film highlights that, but it also highlights a sort of like, if you want to say, conflict between the two generations, where younger Vinci is not so interested in carrying on the tradition, but older St. Vincent is like at a loss and a bit sad and, you know, disappointed that this beautiful thing can't continue. So the film highlights this space, which is a thing that a lot of us could relate to across the spectrum of Vinci, where like, you know, the two generations are butting heads right now, you know, like, yeah, we're butting heads.
So where did Madulu, where did that come from, the name?
The name? Well, I was researching like Garifuna and the Garifuna language, and I found a dictionary that told me that's how you say seaman.
In Garifuna?
In Garifuna. So that's how I came up with it. I'm not 100% like sure, but for the purpose of my creative license, it's one of the little boats that's featured in the film. You'll see it's called Madulu.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of the boats that the sailor would go out whaling on.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
Is it on YouTube or on your social media page?
Yeah.
How can people access this?
Well, the thing about Madulu, the Seaman, this particular film, it's not on YouTube, and it's not necessarily accessible for the public, because this is actually the only documentary. Well, I would say it's the second film that I had licensed, but it's the only documentary of mine that I've managed to, in a kind of a way, sell to a platform. And what I sold was what they call a non-exclusive license, which means the film is my property. You get to put it on your platform for the duration that we agree on for a certain fee.
Yes.
But it's an example of my dream and my goal, you know, like when I went to university and dreamt it all up. Like, I really feel we can monetize our culture in a different way, in different ways than we do right now.
And you need to live.
Well, whether it is to live or not, I mean, I'm not doing this as a hobby. This is straight business for me. But whether it is that you need to live or not, there are many places in the world that have these industries and they're thriving. And some of these places are not so different from St. Vincent. Like the model where you used to have to imagine that products like this could only come out of Hollywood has shifted. Products like this are coming out of South Africa. They're coming out of Jamaica. They're coming out of Colombia. They're all over Netflix, and we are watching them, and we are loving them, but we are not realizing that we have the elements.
We are consumers.
Exactly. And even, well, you said the right word, because the consumer culture in St. Vincent goes so far that it's actually reflected in our internet connectivity. Right? I'm a nerd in my field, so I'm very into like tech and communication. And I don't know, but maybe some of you guys should really, you know, go and do a Google speed test, and you'll see that the download is faster than the upload. Right? Like what we are allowed to download on our cell phones, on our computer, it downloads faster than they allow us to upload it, which means we are designed as a market when it comes to the internet to consume and not to produce. So they assume, oh, they may have nothing to upload to sell to the world. And we complain by not recognizing it, right?
Yes.
So it's really, when you say like we are designed to be consumers, is 100%. The same thing is reflected in in what we eat.
That's another story. Let's get back. Right. So tell us about the second film, Sugarlands.
Right. So Sugarlands was actually a commission. I was contacted by a lecturer at the University of Wales, Trinity St. David in the UK.
Wow.
And they asked me to collaborate with them on creating a project that would explain the connection St. Vincent has with Wales. And the connection that St. Vincent has with Wales is that their oldest university, which at the time in 2022 became 200 years old, was actually funded by a slave trader who received planter reparations for his ownership of Camden Park and the 126 slaves that he was supposedly owner of. They paid him £4,000, and he took that 4,000 and donated it to creating the university. So the university decided to confront its past. They reached out to me, and I decided to use the opportunity to, well, give Vincentians another avenue to confront their colonial history. So the film doesn't just explain Camden Park, it explains the entire colonial history of St. Vincent.
You have to go back, you must go back.
Exactly. And it's narrated by Dr. Fraser. And what we did, we went around the island to all the remnants, bits and pieces of plantation, and he explained live in person. The film is available on YouTube. It's been there for at least 2 years now.
2 years.
Almost 3. Yeah.
Okay.
So that Vincentians could have access to it. In addition to that, it's been all over the world at universities as a sort of like, if you want to say, accompaniment to like history classes and socio-economic classes
about. Really interesting. And that's really great.
So those are my two films that were in Carifesta. Then there was another one called Catman, which was produced by a short film lab that was created by the Hairuna Film Festival. And what that means is that Hairuna Film Festival found a way to raise money, put on a competition, have writers submit their work, select the best ones, mentor them, give them a budget to go produce the film. And the film that won that opportunity was called Catman, and it's really a story about a young guy from around Kingston who inherits his father's hustle.
Wow.
And his father's a catman.
Interesting.
And it's confronting some of the stigma and stereotype that we have in the community towards these people. And also gives a little bit of, if you want to say, hope when it comes to a underdog story and a guy who's trying to like deal with the situation that he has, which is the reality.
The cards that life, you know, has dealt him.
The Vinci reality. Yeah.
So
okay. Those were the some of the highlights. Oh, there was one more film called I Am Garifuna, which is an expressive, poetic piece that was produced by Dante Oliver, who's another filmmaker. Really, really beautiful work. And like I say, 7 films selected at Carifesta. Some people didn't even know we produce films in Vinci, much less to hear that whole 7. Whole 7.
Completion.
Exactly.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm happy that we had so many people showcasing their talents and bringing these important topics to the forefront. Okay, can you just tell me one challenge, just one, that you just one that you face as a filmmaker, just one?
Well, if I would sum all my challenges into one so that you could get a good picture.
You are cheating.
Right? No, that's the power of, we just call it
You're consolidated.
That's the power of the education that's been awarded to me.
Okay, go ahead.
Right?
Go
So
ahead.
if I could sum it into one, I would say more than anything else, I would say it's the attitude of the officials in St. Vincent when it comes to the work. I know it's a lot for people to like perceive local people making films. We've been raised on Hollywood and we often like subscribe to a certain kind of cinema, a certain kind of movie experience. But here in St. Vincent, and in the past 10, 15 years, the world has shifted in business and also in aesthetics and in how you create art. And the studio system is not the thing that's dominating the space anymore. Like right now, they say the stars live in different... we all live in one universe, but the stars come from different galaxies.
Of course.
So there is the social media galaxy, there's the soca galaxy, you know, there's the dancehall galaxy, there's the galaxy from Hollywood, right?
Nigeria.
Exactly, and of course we have our local stars here.
Bollywood.
Exactly, Bollywood and Hollywood. So now anybody, if you really, really about it, have the opportunity to create stars or to create galaxies in your space. And I know that's hard, right? And at first it was very frustrating, but in my journey, I learned how to be gentle with myself and be gentle with my people. And I also learned like real things, like the real reason why it's hard. And the real reason why it's hard is because, yeah, I grew up just like everybody else on Hollywood, and I never really saw examples of people like me making films from places like this, coming through those channels of distribution. You understand? So if somebody from the community now says, I can do it, and decides, oh, I'm going to do it, of course I'm going to be skeptical, you know? So I get it.
Yeah.
But when you start to see it happen in front of you, now it's time for you to like really confront yourself and say, wait, boy, like this thing could really happen, you know? And I feel like any department of culture or ministry of culture that is really interested in developing its people and its cultural resource would pay attention to that. The newspaper coming out that's saying, yo, these people are doing this. International news is saying that these people are doing this. International organizations are handing us funds to do it. You know, like UNESCO is flying us to places to do it. I feel like it's about time that the local people come on board and get it and find ways to like build it up, because it's obvious like it's only so far I could carry it. Or Hiruna Film Festival or the individuals, it's only so far we could carry it.
I understand.
Right?
Yes.
So in reality, I think with everything that's been going on, is really now for the authorities, the officials, for the people who really want to develop this space to like to see what's possible. And then the thing about film is that film is a $200 billion industry and it's global, right? And right now a lot of the gatekeepers are gone. So which is how people like me get to get into some of these
The
spaces.
sky is the limit.
Exactly. So the glass ceiling is broken, and really it's now, if you're good, you're good, and you'll get through if you're good.
Yep.
So it's not like you're saying, oh, you belong in that space and you shouldn't be a part of this. That's not how it is anymore. The talent decides. The interest of the audience decides. Right?
Yes.
Whoever, if 1 million people click on this link, that is my indicator of value, not the name of the actor or the name of the producer
Or some critic.
or some critic or some cultural official, right? It's really like the data. The data is
Yes,
king right now.
yes, yes.
So yeah, so I would say that's my major challenge. And if that challenge could be confronted, all kind of things could happen. All
Okay.
kind of things.
All right.
Yeah.
So I
including me being happy.
hope you're already happy.
I know my soul is happy, but my spirit would do a backflip 3 times if only I could like bring other people into this joy I feel being a local filmmaker who has reached globally. Because at the end of the day, we want to diversify St. Vincent. I'm only doing this because my teachers, my elders, all you convinced me when I was young and tell me to sing a particular song. And the song that all you teach me to sing is We're Out to Build a New St. Vincent. I've been trying to live up to that song. I'm not the only one. You know, like all of us in our own way have been trying to do that, but there are all of these things that always kind of like stand in the way, and nobody is pointing fingers or blaming anybody, but you have to hold yourself responsible. If we really want to heal and get past some of these things, you have to be able to be a self-critic. You have to say, yo, Akley, you could be way further ahead if only you've done these things, you know? But we're not able to do that. We just get defensive. Oh, you don't like me.
Okay.
How far is that going to get us?
Not very far. Until we look ourselves in the mirror and confront ourselves.
But by the time you do that, the country next door done gone 10 miles ahead.
Yes,
They say
yes.
Grenada made 100 million this year from Carnival,
Oh, wow.
right? Grenada gets it. Grenada empowers the filmmakers like me to tell stories about Carnival, about the job, right? So now it's not just the job man on Carnival Day, it's the other artists from other aspects, right? And it makes like a big wave when it comes to how you position the country, right? I mean, it don't seem like rocket science.
Okay, so final question. What advice do you have to give to any young person or just maybe some enthusiasts who want to pursue filmmaking and probably is already confronting some of the same issues that you highlighted?
Well, I would say if you're new to filmmaking and you want to like, just explore it, I would say the biggest challenge is not necessarily the challenges that I'm having at the moment. Like St. Vincent is amazing, beautiful, and free, right? Free, completely free. Like here we are free, we're free people, right? And you have the ability to speak your mind, to express, to capture reality and express what you think without too much like oppression and fear in terms of like, if I say this, what's gonna happen to me? In addition to that, there are not a lot of rules when it comes to what you could film and how you could film. And people are for the most part, like kind-hearted and interested for the most part until they drink too strong rum. But yeah, so I would say those are elements that really contribute to you just like exploring. The other thing that often stop people from exploring in the way that they could is the idea that you need this high level of resource. You need big camera, you need this, you need that. I just went to Carifesta to teach Bajans. I think it was 11 in total that stayed to the end, how to make documentaries with their cell phones, with this. Everybody has one. Everybody has one, and yours is probably better than mine in terms of like what it could do. This is not even an iPhone. It's not an iPhone. But iPhone 15 up is like production horses when it comes to the kind of content you could produce.
I've seen people
exactly.
filming.
Even putting the microphone just like this is like top quality audio that you're able to get. And I feel like if you're really interested, you can use what you have and just start like exploring, put it online, see how people respond, and that's how you build audience. You do that for a month, you might be surprised how much people interested in you. And then in a kind of a way, it creates a machinery, and that machinery then allows you to attract, if you want to say clients or people who might want to do something similar or use your audiovisual production skills, So I feel like there's nothing really stopping anybody who wants to get interested in filmmaking
Now
right
is the
now.
time.
Now is the
Now
time.
is the time.
Especially with the AI.
Now is the time. Okay,
Yeah.
so thank you again for talking to us. It's been insightful. I wish you all the best going forward. I'll keep an eye and an ear out for what you have coming next. And yes, all the best to you.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
just hope that some of your challenges will be smoothed out as you go along.
That would be nice, but we need more than eyes and ears. We need like ownership and reaction.
Yes.
You know, and the time for patting people on the back and say good job, that's done. That's not gonna get us any further.
Okay. On that note, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. All the best.